I hear you.
Okay, so the other hot spots, we're waiting for the Raiders and the Browns to change coaches. There's been no indication that anything other than that is going to happen. Kevin Stefanski, as of Saturday, believed he was going to be fired. Like, if you know your guy's wondering what the hell's going to happen and you don't tell him everything's fine, then it's not fine.
I would expect it to be changed.
I doubt that beating the Bengals yesterday is going to make a difference.
Right.
With the Raiders, it's just not sustainable. It has to end. It has to end. The moment that they asked Pete Carroll, do you think the team is rebuilding? And he said yes. Then you're 75. I mean, I think the NFL has an ageism issue, but let's be realistic. If you're rebuilding and the head coach is 75, it's time for a new head coach. If you're rebuilding, there's a future out there that you need to forge with someone that you know has a chance to be there 5, 10, 15 years if that's what you're in the process of doing. I'm fascinated by the two jobs that I think will be salvaged by the presence of the buyout. Aaron Glenn, even though some believe he's lost the team, they got blown out again yesterday. It's been one embarrassment after another through the final 5 weeks of the season.
No, it is as bad as it possibly gets.
But he's got 4 years guaranteed.
Exactly right.
After that, it's $45 million. And, yeah, I mean, I keep hearing from people, he's lost the team. And all you have to do is watch the games to realize he's lost the team.
You would argue, I could sit here and argue that the Jets in the last month of the season, and this is saying something because the Raiders have looked horrible. But I could sit here and argue and tell you that the Jets in the last month of the season have looked as bad as any team I can ever remember in the last month of a season. Like, ever remember. It is a absolute debacle. So I'll be interested to see what happens as well. But, yeah, the 4 more years on the contract, that's a big deal. Even for a billionaire like Woody Johnson. I don't know if he wants to just cut that check there. So be interesting to see what happens there. I think that one. And what was the other one you were going to go with there?
Well, the Bengals.
Yeah,
as long as
Bengals,
Zach Taylor is owed anything, he's safe. And, it drives me crazy when I see, and I try not to watch the other shows, but, when I show up for work and they're on, they're on. And all this talk about, well, what should Zach Taylor be back, should not be back? Look, it's as simple as this. Mike Brown is never going to pay anyone to not coach. As long as he has a buyout, he's going to be back. And, yes, Joe Burrow is saying we need change. And, hey, Kevin Stefanski missed the playoffs 4 out of 6 years. Well, Zach Taylor's missed the playoffs 5 out of 7 years. Zach Taylor's gone 3 straight years with no playoffs. In the same state, there's a different standard that's applying to Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland than will be applied to Zach Taylor in Cincinnati. And it's all because Mike Brown will not fire a guy who has guaranteed money left. He will not pay a guy to not coach his team and then have to pay someone else to coach the team. It cuts into the profit margin. And, folks, it's a business. Plenty of fans don't want to hear it. The Bengals are run like a business. And why are they going to spend money they don't have to spend on paying a coach to not coach when we'd have to pay someone else to coach? So I fully expect Zach Taylor to come back unless Joe Burrow goes in and makes a power play and says it's him or me. That's the only way Zach Taylor's going to be out.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
And even then, Mike Brown may say, I'm fine, go, see ya.
There's some nuance with, the Bengals thing. I mean, it certainly is. And we know the money thing, like you just explained, it's spot on. And everybody knows that in the NFL. But I also would say, with Zach Taylor, I think he's, what do I want to say? Put a few more things on the bank here to save his job as far as Kevin Stefanski. I mean, he did go to a Super Bowl, had a chance to win it. I mean, went to the AFC Championship. If it isn't for a stupid penalty, they're going to go to the second Super Bowl in a row.
But he's got Joe Burrow. Kevin Stefanski has had a revolving door of shit in Cleveland.
I hear you there. I hear you there. But, part of that, I don't know. I mean, he had Baker Mayfield there, and they wanted to throw his ass out the door for Deshaun Watson. And I know that's not all him, but he obviously wasn't necessarily all in on Baker
when
either.
I say, I mean the decisions, not the players.
I know.
They have made one bad decision after another from an organizational standpoint. From Paul DePodesta, who's gone, Andrew Berry, who apparently is going to survive, even if Kevin Stefanski's gone. Like I said this all year, and I don't know Kevin Stefanski all that well. I'm just looking at it saying, wait a minute. We always judge these coaches relative to what we expect. What did we expect from Cleveland this year? What did we expect?
No, I'm with you.
And when
there.
I use the caca word, I mean just the entire circumstance, the entire roster. Look, Shedeur Sanders has shown signs of promise. All the more reason to maybe bring Kevin Stefanski back. Unless Kevin Stefanski's behind the scenes saying, we got to get rid of Shedeur Sanders, and the organization's like, I think he's playing pretty well, we need to keep him. But the Deshaun Watson thing, that's not... Kevin Stefanski didn't show up in team headquarters one day and say, I have an idea.
Right.
let's get Deshaun Watson. Let's give up 3 first-round picks and give him a $245 million fully guaranteed contract, whatever the number is, 240. Let's do it. No. He's a guy who's been a good soldier, who is playing the hand he's been dealt. And I think you could make the same argument for Andrew Berry. Good soldier, playing the hand they've been dealt by an owner who likes to keep the ladle deep in the stew. And that's where all the dysfunction comes from. And everything that Kevin Stefanski has dealt with, I think at some level, it may be a relief for Kevin Stefanski.
Maybe. I mean, there's no doubt
he's going to be battle tested. If he lands as the head coach with a normally functioning football team, he could be much better for it because he's been through the wars now. So that's the difference. Zach Taylor's had Joe Burrow. Kevin Stefanski's had, who the hell's our quarterback now? We're bringing Joe Flacco off the couch in November, and we're making the playoffs.
But he didn't make a stand for wanting to keep Baker Mayfield. That's what I'm going to say. That's my
did?
Thing. He didn't. I mean, it didn't seem like they really.
Does it matter?
No, well, I don't know. But we're seeing Baker Mayfield's really successful, and that could have been something that was a mainstay. I can understand them getting rid of Kevin Stefanski. I definitely agree with a lot of what you said there. He's been dealt some bad hands. There's no doubt about it. And he's been handcuffed with some of the things that have gone on with that football team. So I get it there too. But I do think maybe we're at a spot here where, okay, regardless of the bad hands in Cleveland, it just hasn't gone the right way, and they might need a fresh start. It just might be one of those type of conversations.
What's going to make them better? What's going to make them better?
I don't know. They need a lot of different things. You're right. I mean, again, the quarterback situation is certainly not sold. That's not sold and figured out yet. Shedeur has shown some promise to maybe be that guy, but not enough to where I go, oh, yeah, he's the guy. Don't worry this offseason. You don't have to get a quarterback. You don't have to draft anybody. Hasn't been good that way. I mean, if you watch the game yesterday, completions were hard to find yesterday in the game. He didn't throw the ball well. He's had too many moments of that where it's been, there's been good, but there's also been moments of like, I don't know if I'm ready to just give him the keys to the franchise yet. I don't think we're there yet either. But I hear you what you're saying with Stefanski. I guess in my heart of hearts, I'm expecting that to be a change as well. And in my heart of hearts, even though it's feasible to say Zach Taylor should be gone as well, I feel like because of the things you said, he's probably going to be safe too.
Safe. The buyout makes him safe.
Right.
A couple of others real quickly. Todd Bowles, I don't know what's going to happen with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have grossly underachieved this year. They started 6-2 and it fell apart. He's 35-33 in 4 seasons, which he's right above 500. He had 3 straight division titles. Obviously, he would have had a 4th if the Saints had managed to beat the Falcons on Sunday. That didn't happen. And here's the thing about the Buccaneers ownership. You never know what they're going to do. And they have shown a propensity to do unpredictable things. I think they'd like to have an offensive coach because they've seen Dave Canales come for a year, graduate to Carolina.
Right.
He's in the playoffs. Liam Cohen comes for a year, graduates to the Jaguars. He's in the playoffs. So I think they'd like to have stability as it relates to the quarterback. It's the thing I always argue. Like, if you have a great defensive coach and you also have a great quarterback, your offensive coordinator is going to get hired for head coaching jobs, and you're constantly going to have to replace your coordinator until you get one that doesn't do a good enough job, and then that may bring you down. So that's what I'm watching. It looks like Jonathan Gannon's safe in Arizona, even though they've lost 14 games for the first time in franchise history. There's a video out there making the rounds of Michael Bidwell going over to Jonathan Gannon yesterday and giving him a huge hug before the game. I mean, it doesn't seem like Gannon is out.
Feel like it. Right.
They started 2-0 and finished 1-14.
Yeah, had all those close 1-point loss, or close 1-score games that they lost, but at the end of the year, that wasn't the case. They were losing by multiple scores. But I think at the end of the day, with Jonathan Gannon, Monty Ossenfort and company, they're going to get another year for one reason. I look at it, that they got stuck with Kyler Murray. And the Kyler Murray thing, and they're going to be able to go, we never got to get our quarterback, the quarterback that we see fit to run our football team. I would believe that Monty Ossenfort, a guy that I worked with in New England, would definitely not be believing in a Kyler Murray smaller type of quarterback. I believe he was brought up in the school of, no, I want a big pocket quarterback like a Tom Brady who can make throws down the football field and do that. And I think Jonathan Gannon is probably in a similar way that way as well, being kind of old school. So we'll see where that goes. But, yeah, it does seem like they're safe here.
And I don't think Michael Bidwell was ever a big fan of Kyler Murray. The relationship became poisoned by that ridiculous clause they put in his contract. Right. And this was a long time coming. Kyler Murray is done in Arizona. There's no way he's coming back, especially if the only way he was possibly coming back is if they hire a new regime and the new regime says, hey, Michael Bidwell, we'd like to keep Kyler Murray. And then talk him into it, because I think everything's been pointing toward Murray moving on. And maybe that's the one thing that Gannon and Bidwell have in common. Beyond that, who knows? Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.